Hey guys, I'm sorry the video got cut off. I may just have to come back on here tonight. I overheated. They had called me to get a dock, so I had to hurry up and back the truck up. And I think I ended, my video ended talking about the hippie era is going to be similar to the Aquarian era because of the individuality that was in the hippie time. But the problem with the hippie time was that drugs was too attached to it, and that was because we were in the Piscean era, which is the element of illusion and dream type state, fantasy, escapism. That's the symbol of the Piscean, is like escapism. And you know, when you do escapism, it's like, okay, how do I escape the trappings of my mind? You know, I'm under a lot of stress, mental health, da 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 da. But now in this era, I don't think it's going to be, people are not going to be escaping. They're going to be combating their truths. It's going to be a more intense energy of the transparency, the less shame, the more standing in integrity versus immorality. The immorality is going to be called out more, I won't say harshly, but it'll just be more like you either on the team of the right or you're on the team of the wrong. There's going to be no in between with people now. People are going to be standing in their truth. They're not going to be persuaded to be down with the wrong thing to do just because the cool kids are doing it or something like that. People are going to now be able to stand on their individualism. Believe it or not, the way the system is doing right now, attacking the people, it's actually going to make the people stand in their truth now. You're going to see people not being afraid to be who they want to be. It was too many people in the last, I would say 10 years, they was afraid to stand on their own business. They letting, man, the stuff I be wanting to say. But the millennials was the first wave of showing you what was getting ready to happen in the Aquarian era. But the Gen Zs, we talk crap about the Gen Zs, but they were the ones teaching the older people, the people still stuck in escapism land and conformity. They were teaching y'all, get out of conformity. Stand in your own truth, in who you are, your individualism. People were so afraid to step out on that. So when one person said it, they were castrated. There's something in psychology called the Good Samaritan mindset, where people are more inclined to help when there's a less amount of people. So, for example, you walking in the street in New York and there's a bunch of people, and looks like somebody's on the floor in distress. Maybe they fell out. Maybe somebody punched them. You will see less people inclined to help them because of the amount of people. But if it was just two people and three people, one person fell, you will be more inclined to see the natural impulse of the person reach out quicker. And you say to yourself, why did all those people stand there and do nothing? And they came to the conclusion that it's probably because they waiting for somebody else to do it. Or they're afraid that if they do it, somebody else might say something against what they're doing. They're not standing in their own impulsive integrity, their own intuition. And it's okay sometimes because you want to be in a team effort, right? You want to create culture. You want to create inclusion. So you don't want to always just be on some, well, I'm going to do it. I don't care what nobody say. I'm going to be individualistic. Sometimes you have to be interdependent, where other people can rely on you and you can rely on other people. And there's an exchange of teamship, right? But in certain situations, people have gotten so used to waiting on other people to say something, other people to do something, and they don't create their own situation. And this is why narcissist narcissist predatorial mindset are able to now castrate majority of humanity, because the other humans waiting for the other humans to do something about it. That's why I said yesterday, I'm listening to this lady's video, and she's saying how her ex abused her, right? And then she's like, oh, I don't want to bash him. Ma'am, he bashed himself by abusing you. So why are you loyal to an abuser at this point? This is what the Aquarian era, I be getting passionate, y'all. Sorry. The Aquarian era is going to nip all of that in the bud. People going to stand in their truth. They going to have their testimonies, and ain't shit people going to be able to do about it. The Aquarian, the Piscean era, being that it was like more dream state. You know what happens when you wake up from a dream, right? You're groggy. You're trying to find your place. You know what I mean? And what happens? You finally wake up. So we're coming out of Piscean, the dream state, and people are waking up. So now they're full force in their energy. When you're in the dream state, you're in between these worlds. You're still like floating. You're still trying to figure things out. You're still in fantasy world. So yeah, you're not going to say as much. You might be a little leery on saying some stuff. And it's not just about speech. When I say saying stuff, it's not just about what you say come out your mouth. It's your whole aura, your frequency, how you move, how you process things, how you manifest things, how you alchemize certain energies. That's the thing that's going to happen in the next 15 years. The Matrix ain't going to have nothing on what's to come. But the powers that be is hoping that humanity stay in the state of sleep. But we don't know which way this totem pole is going. You know what I'm saying? We don't know which way. I believe it's going to go the way of strength. I believe humans are going to get stronger, because right now the way it looks so crazy, it usually means it's going to be a revolutionary breakthrough. That's usually what happens when there's a timeline shifting. And we came out the hippie era around the 90s. The timelines shifted. People started seeing things differently. The computer system became the thing. And humans evolved into a matrix robotic way of thinking. You notice that? This is what paved the way for narcissism. It's this robotic, follow what I say, not what I do. That's narcissism. It's all about me. My thought processes is right. You better follow me. Don't worry if I'm contradictory. Don't worry if I'm hypocritical. Just do what I say. All of that getting ready to stop. People tired of it. And it's not that they're tired. They're awakening. When you're tired of something, you go back to sleep. You don't want to fight. You give up. People ain't tired. They're woke. They're woke. And this is what they're trying to do. At this point, the system in place is trying to confuse the awakening. They're trying to bring all kind of tactics. They got freaking Nicki Minaj out here joining MAGA. Come on. It's all a power play to confuse the masses so that the woke individuals get confused. And what happens when you get confused, you don't know what to do. You don't know which frequency to tap in. You're all over the place in your mind. You're scared. You don't know what to do. But when you stick to what you already, don't come off the path. The path is, for example, the journey might be long and arduous, right? But if you are on the right path, the energies will naturally align where you're supposed to be already. For example, let's say you're in school and you like to cut class, and you didn't even know there was a big test that the teacher was about to give the students, right? But everybody that came to class the day before was aware that there was going to be a test, right? So you over there thinking, oh, I'm just going to go to class and act like, da, 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 da. But now you go back to the class and you don't know what's going on because you wasn't paying attention. You was missing an action. You're not going to be aligned with the energy in that class. Same thing with the life journey. If you stay on the path, even while the frequencies are changing, you will be naturally in alignment because you will be seeing what's going on while still on the path. But if you get off the path And getting off the path means as soon as the wind blow, oh gosh, they want me to do this. They want me to do this. Oh, they making FEMA camps. So if there was an emergency and they say everybody go to, Utah, and we're going to keep y'all there for about a month. We're going to feed you guys. Now my phone want to die. Everything wants me to stop talking about this stuff. Hold on, y'all. They want you to do X, Y, Z. Your spirit, you're on the journey. You're on the right path. You're doing the do. You're in tune with God. You're in tune with the universe, the nature, the frequencies, the changes that's to come. And you're doing the do. But then some strange event happens and they're telling you to do something and the masses are doing it. So since the masses are doing it, it seems correct. But then your frequency is saying, this might be my last breath if I go down there with these people. This might be my last turn of events if I listen to these people. So you go and you tell your family, hey, I think we should go here. Your family is saying, no, we might not have enough food if we go that way. But you know that your instincts, and you've been on the path for a long time. You've been on the straight and narrow, seeing things that's happening. And you know in your heart of hearts, and you probably even prayed on it, maybe had a premonition or dream a couple days ago or a year ago, and it told you that this day was going to come. And you say, nah, my instinct said we need to go this way. Then you go and you find out a month later, the place that they send those people blew up. Coincidentally. This is what I'm saying. When you're on the path, you don't have to have all the answers right then and there, because it's frequency. Your frequency will be so in tuned that man, the stuff that's happened that I knew God was telling me, nah, we're not doing that. And my decision will switch overnight. And people are like, why did you switch up? My angels told me this wasn't good. And then I'll find out a month from now why I had to switch up. It will reveal itself after I'd long gone made the decision. That's how it be. You have to be in tune. Now, it's not just about only being in your intuition. You got to be in your critical thinking as well, because sometimes your intuition could play mind tricks on you, because you might not realize if you had a feeling of fear for that whole month because something happened to you and shifted your vibration, and you're not realizing you're not all the way on the path. Your critical brain might tell you something don't feel right. You start seeing things, something ain't adding up. This is going down this way and they telling you do this, and you're like, okay, is that my intuition talking or my critical brain talking? That's when you got to start really strategizing on what's going on, because we're not all the way angelic super beings. If we were completely dedicated to the cause, we could get to that level. But we're so boggled down by everyday tasks, work, toxic people, toxic relationships. So your whole being is off balance. Especially living in these type of countries where segregation, racism, sexism, genderism, all kind of isms. You're not flourishing the way you should spiritually, intuitively, primitively. You're not primitively, meaning like some emergency happening, you got to go live in the forest and you don't know a tree from a branch. So we're not flourishing the way we're supposed to have been as humans. You see what I'm saying? They robbed us of that. So we working with, what you say, work with what little bit you got. You got lemons, one lemon, make lemonade. But we got to make good lemonade, not trash lemonade. We got to get to that point where whatever you got, you're able to make it work. Stop being ungrateful for the small things that come about in your life. Stop comparing yourself to people. That is the illusion era. Let all that shit go. You should be more proud of yourself that you came out the mud when other people had it handed to them. That should say something about you as a person. That you were able to crawl out the mother effing mud and make it way better than the person that already was doing it. You got people with kids that's doing way more than a person with no kids. But then they'll talk about, oh, people with kids, blah, 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 blah. Shut the hell up. This is what I'm saying. The putting people in the box, all that's going to stop. All that's going to stop, because there's no person that could walk this planet that ain't had a struggle, that ain't had a challenge. If it ain't kids, it might be a disease like cancer. Or it might be the fact that you wanted kids and, you know, for whatever reason, God said no, we're not doing that to your body. We want you to do something else with your life. You know what I'm saying? But everybody has suffered some level of challenges. So to sit up there and judge somebody else's challenge makes that other person weak. I would love to hear a person's story when they say, I had this amount of kids, or I had this challenge, I had no money, I grew up with poverty, but look at me now. You know what I mean? That to me is a more interesting story than somebody talk about, yeah, my parents was rich, I was always rich, I never had no struggles, so that's why I look down on people. And people that look down on people, especially the people that don't even have anything, you'd be surprised how many people, they booty holes stink, meaning their hygiene is low, they ain't really got no money, they barely got any property, any assets, anything to look at to say, I accomplished, but they'll be the biggest haters. This is an illusion. These people are delusional. They'll sit up there and talk mad smack about everybody else, and their life is tragedy. That's what you're dealing with. Low demonic vibration. Because look at the stench of a demon. I could just imagine the smell of hell. Could you imagine even if people don't think it's a fire of burning flesh, you're there with sweaty, musty, angry people. They all up on top of each other. But then they'll talk about people in heaven like, oh, look at them. Are you kidding me right now? Are you kidding me? That is an illusion. They have to make the high vibrating light beings look some type of way. And then the people that actually fall for it, that go along with it, go along to get along, they be stuck with these low vibrational energies and they be miserable. They go home exhausted mentally because they had to keep up with the people at work that was just gossiping. It's just energy draining because you ain't learned nothing about yourself. You ain't learned nothing about life. You ain't learned nothing about challenges. You ain't learned nothing to elevate yourself. You was a hot mess. That's what the Piscean era people was vibrating off of delusion. But now the energies are vibrating off of truth and transparency. Now, I'm not saying it's not going to be bad. It's going to be bad. It might be even worse. But the good thing about it is that the energies on the side of truth is not going to be having it. They're not going to be having it. They're not going to be like, okay, we're going to get along together. It's not going to be none of that no more. People are standing up for the shit that they've been through because karma is here. It has people have done so much crap in this 10-year, 20-year timeline. The karma has come to reap its head. So now when they're suffering, these people that were talking doodle smack about the light beings, doing horrific things, cheating on them, dogging them out, lying on them, manipulating them, taking their money, talking down to them, all of that's going to stop. Karma has come. Those are the ones that's going to be suffering in this timeline. Period. And the people that were always there rooting for them, yeah, you could do it, you got this, their mouth's going to be closed now. We have bigger missions to accomplish now. We have different frequencies to focus on now. We can focus now on the youth, the ones that need the influence. These has-beens that's constantly doing evil, you ain't got time for them. You ain't got time for them. Their time is expired. When God said it's going to be a time for play and a time for suffering, that's when the punishment, the karma. And the crazy thing about karma, it's going to be the same thing you dish out. That karma going to be the same, but multiplied. The spirit realm do not play. Their energy is way more intense. This is why when you have a spiritual feeling about something, or a deep spiritual dream, it's something that stays on your psyche for a minute because it's way more intense. I won't say it's dense, but being that we're dense beings in a dense reality, when we feel that spirit realm on us, our dense physical body can't take all that energy, so it does feel heavy. Whichever side it's coming from, whether it's from the lower realms or the higher realms, it feels heavy when it infiltrates you. Or this is why when a person that may appear meek, like a light being, usually God will send the light beings in the form of meekness. And people will underestimate their strength or underestimate their light or whatever. This is why the chosen ones, you really don't know them until you start to see the revelation of God come through them, right? But the assignment will usually be to take down a whole kingdom or a whole deviant or something that is like other people will be afraid of because they're not working through the spirit. They're working through the flesh. So the other people that's just going through everyday third dimensional existence without no spiritual protection, God won't work with them because God can't even talk to these people. They're not in existence of the realm. They're just NPCs. So the most meek person, God will send the most meek looking person or the most meek looking energy. But once he says, the time is here, I need you to start doing the work, you're going to see the transformation in that being. And you're going to be like, how did they go from this? Because it's God. It's God. Because God wants people to be like, what the? You know what I mean? It's like that whole profound, overwhelming type situation. And when you move kingdoms or powers and principalities, it's not going to be no, this whole team took them out. It'll be the most meekest, scrawniest looking person. And you'll be like, hold up, that scrawny thing took out a whole system? How? The power of God. So you can't get off your path because you feel like, oh, I'm so scrawny, I'm so meek, I'm so tired, I'm so little, I can't do this, I can't do that. You might feel like that at some point, but don't get off the path, because what happens is once you stay on the path, you're going to realize the energies will start to come towards you and you'll get stronger. And then you'll start to see your purpose. But you can't really see your purpose or the mission of why you're here in this world if you jumping off the path as soon as something go wrong. As soon as somebody say, oh, the system said we need to do this, or da-da-da. Like, for example, let's say the system say, hey, we cutting off all 401k plans, no more Social Security, and now you on a path of saving up for retirement, and you was planning on going to Honolulu and retire and only pay $500 rent or whatever, right? And now the system is like, nah, we switching up your plans. So now this third dimensional person who's not really in the path, but they trying to figure things out, but they only trying to figure things out on a dense mentality, they're going to jump off the path. They're going to jump off the path and try to figure out, well, what should I do? What should I listen to what the news is telling me? I need to tune in. I got to figure out how I'm going to make it. They start panicking. They start being fearful. Now, the answer may not come the day they lose their benefit, but the answer is going to come once they stay the path. Once they stay on the course, like, okay, these people trying to pivot my life. Let me figure out another way. Then they stay strong in that mentality, and next thing you know, somebody might contact them on a new program they opening up that's going to allow them to go to Honolulu for free or some I'm telling you, the way the energies work, it will work for you once you get out the matrix thinking. Period. Too many people sitting up here wondering about retirement and cash, and I'm not saying you can't, but that shouldn't be your existence. It shouldn't. Because at one push of a button, all of this can be gone. All cash value can be gone. All gold and silver, they could throw it away and be like, we're not letting you get none of it. Whatever they decide. They can stop your pension, your 401k, your veterans benefits, your Social Security, your food stamps, everything. And people will snap. They'll snap. That's probably why they called the damn food stamp SNAP, because they plan to snap it off and they wanted to watch people go berserk. Yeah, this is what they planned. All of it. All of these people in power knew that this was coming. This is why they panicked when Homeboy got into office, because they already knew the plan. They already wrote a whole book in the Heritage Fund. They already wrote the book. They already told y'all what they was going to do to y'all, how they was going to have y'all panicking, how they was going to wake you up out of the dream state and make you woke. They even said it. We don't want no more woke people. They said it. This is all part of the plan. They wanted to hurt us. But like I said, since we're going into the Aquarian era, they picked the right time to do this bullshit. It's going to be all races of people coming under this situation for the interdependence good of humanity. This is how it's supposed to be. And I don't know what part of the Bible it mentions something is going to be a time of peace before the war of the Dajjal, or the war of the Antichrist. In the Quran, the Antichrist is called the Dajjal, right? It's going to come a time, I think it's supposed to be peaceful a little while, and everybody's going to be in this whole connection, like humanitarian, I guess, less racist, less racism. Let me tell you something. A racist system can't exist without racist people. Okay? We, the people, the democracy, we're the ones that add to the situation. So if you want to create a utopia, it starts with yourself. How you view other people, how you treat other people. If you want better peace on the land, don't be a bully. Don't be a whoremonger. Don't be a liar. Don't be a manipulator. Don't go around cheating on people. Don't lie. Don't steal. Don't unalive. Don't hate other races. Love other people. Love gay people. I'm not saying love bad people, but don't make it a situation where you turn evil just to be around evil people. If you're around evil people and you're condoning it, you're evil. If you're laughing at evil people hurting other people, you have wickedness within yourself. It's just as simple as that. If you want to create a utopia outside of this system, meaning non-racist, don't hate on people that are not like you. Don't be that. The people that call themselves Christians, Christ said, treat people the way you want to be treated. That was the major message. Stop hating. All the other stuff God might forgive you for. But if you become a part of the problem, yeah, you're going to get stuck here. I'm going to leave you here, and when I come to help the others to ascend, you will be stuck in this energy. That will be your prison. That will be your hell. So they're looking for this big thing come out the sky. No, he made it very clear. I'm giving you the creation, which is the other people. Treat them right. Oh, that's your ass. But what do? They want to test God all the time. All the time. And say, you know what? Let me go hurt some more people to see if God really exists. All you're doing is racking up karma. You're going to pay in this life and whatever realm he decides to put you in. If you're terrible, you're going straight down to the lowest realm. But if you're not so terrible, you have a little bit of work to do, he's going to put you in purgatory and ask you, what do you want to do to fix this situation? I'm going to need you to get back out there and go help some people. I'm going to need you to be a spirit guide to these people and try to help them so that you can release that generational curse that you brought into your family with your bullshit. So now with the Aquarian era, people are going to start to see it more. The frequency is going to be more infiltrated into humans, where they can feel certain things when it ain't right, when it is right, and they're going to stand on business. They're going to let people know about themselves. We're not doing that no more. We're not committing this crime. We're not hurting this woman. We're not dragging her through the park. We're not doing that. And if you don't like me, too bad. That's how they're going to do. I'm telling you, the standing on truth is the only way out of this crap. It is the only way to release racism, sexism, all this crap. It's poison to humanity. We have been ingesting poison as if it's venom. Like the Venom, the Venom character. The Venom dude had a little bit of poison in him that made him like this rageful person, right? But he used it for what he needed to do, but he couldn't separate from it. It became a part of who he was. Just like a narcissist. They ingested poison and they became the poison. So even when they wanted to separate from the poison, they couldn't, because there was no more self. The self became the poison. This is what's happening to humanity. They have become the poison. And in order to separate from that, you're going to have to find the core self and get back to the core self. The core self is the highest potential of self. The godlike conscious of self. A lot of people are afraid of that light. The reason why they're afraid of that light is because it's going to take work to get rid of them demons. A lot of these guys out here, women too, they go into this OCD type situation. Some of them actually have OCD, the obsessive compulsive personality disorder, and they think that working themselves to death is going to help them escape their problems. It ain't. Them demons are still waiting for you when you go to bed. OCD personality disorder is a rigid behavior, but it's based off of the anxiety disorder. So they're paranoid about everything. That's why they become so rigid in their behavior. The problem with OCD personality disorder versus the obsessive compulsive is that the personality disorder becomes the venom. So it becomes a part of the person where they get egocentric with their disorder. Make sense? The OCD person has ego dystonic. So their ego dystonic makes them uncomfortable with their behavior. So they seek help. The egocentric person think it's normal and they don't want help. And it becomes set in their way and they become rigid. So you can't change them. So when you see a person and they like a workaholic, they're very strict, they're rigid, chances are they have narcissism and OCD personality disorder. So they're going to be hard to change because it's become their venom. Make sense? They have been poisoned with it and they live with it as a part of who they are. So you come and trying to change a person with OCD personality disorder, you're going to have a fight on your hand because they think they're normal. They think they're so set in their way that even when you're showing them the proof that it's something wrong here, like let's say they making a big deal because you left a cup in the sink or something where it's like minute, right? And they having a whole conundrum. But meanwhile, they working themselves to the grave. They're unhappy, they're rigid, and they focus on a cup. Something wrong. They need to focus on their balance, on their mental health, but they focus on you, on your cup. Or they focus on one little piece of hair that came out of place. That is the personality rigidity. And these are things that we don't pay attention to because there's so many people that be like that. So we don't think it's mental illness. And you're like, oh, they just set in their way. Nah, it's beyond setting their way, sir, ma'am. It's beyond that. They have been stuck with the poison. And now their brain is mentally ill, but they're egocentric, so they don't want to change. You have a lot of people out here that's mentally ill with egocentric versus ego dystonic. When you're dealing with mental illness, it's better to have ego dystonic so you can feel uncomfortable with your mental illness and you go seek help. People with anxiety that feel uncomfortable about it, that means you're sitting in the ego dystonic of your anxiety. But people that have anxiety, like narcissistic people that have anxiety, they have these moments where they're paranoid, they want to control your every move. That's a paranoia that they have. They want to watch and scan you. That's a paranoia, but they think it's normal, so they'll be egocentric with it. And when you try to tell them, hey, stop, I don't like the behavior, they think you're crazy. They think something wrong with you. This is why you got to know what you're dealing with when you're dealing with these humans. They don't want to take accountability. Some of them don't want to take accountability because they don't even realize something is wrong. Something's wrong with them. So it takes forever to get them to see something, and then God has to intervene and crash their whole life with karma, and then they finally say, it's time for me to get into ego dystonic. This is when you're going to see a narcissist collapse, when their karma finally reap its head. And then they'll go into ego dystonic and realize for that moment, hey, maybe I do need to change. But the Aquarian season is going to put a lot of people in ego dystonic. And that's the way it was meant to be. Because every dog has its day. Every time has its season. And the season is up. It's up right now for evil people. It's up. So now they got to realize it's either you change or you die in your karma. Period. There's no way around this. They want to find all these ways to escape. The delusion life is over. All that fantasy life, it's over. People not believing that shit no more. They're not believing in this whole, oh, I'm going to be rich till I die. A lot of people don't make it to be rich. That's why they say money is the root to all evil, because we give you all this money, but your heart ain't right. So now you got all this money to commit evil? Oh, heck nah. That's why God didn't make it easy for people to be rich. Because he know the heart of man, human, ain't right. So now he going to give you power? Heck to the nah. No, he not going to give you power like that. That's why some of these people got to do diabolical shit just to become rich. Because it wasn't meant for them to be rich. They had to go do some real crazy stuff to become rich. A lot of those people that end up with a lot of money, they end up losing it through karma. Their whole life look like a boomerang. But that's the way it's supposed to be. That's why you got to stand in your truth, because you got to know, hey, I have integrity. So at least when all that stuff hit the fan for them people that's evil, they done stole money, they done did all kind of stuff to get money, at least I know I stood in my truth and I'm still standing strong. Who's the real winner? I didn't have to do diabolical stuff. The light beings didn't have to do diabolical stuff. The people that's trying to get right ain't got to do diabolical stuff. And they still surviving. We all going to be touched with some level of mental distress, possible mental illness. But at least when you're sitting in it in ego dystonic, you out there realizing, hey, I might need to join a community. I might need to go get therapy. I might need to do something with my life, right? So you're still striving. You're still considered the winner. You're not falling under these demonic spells just to be relevant. And that's the era that we're coming to. People is tired of the fake. They tired of turning on social media and you got fake bodies, fake mentality, fake everything, fake goals. You got people talking about, oh, I did all these crunches on my stomach, and you come to find out they paid $2,000 and got some fat sucked out their stomach and ain't even did a sit up a day in their life. This is what we dealing with. The Matrix. Sims characters. Real life Sims characters. You get more reality watching the Sims game than some of these folks' lives. They faking the funk, acting like they happy, they miserable, they put on a fake smile, and then inside they crumbling. Because we was in Delulu land. But now people are being awoken. Everything has a time and a season. All the stuff I was saying years ago about what was happening, what was to come, it started showing its head. People probably was calling me all kind of cuckoo, right? And look at what's going on right now. Exactly what I said was going to happen. Not because I said it. It's because I was in tune with what's to come, the frequencies. I said there's going to come a time where you can't even touch your microwave without them asking you for your social security number or your name and number or something. Total invasion of privacy is where it's going to be. What you going to do? What you going to do? This is why you cannot listen to naysayers that tell you, oh, be quiet. Don't say that. Oh, you're oversharing. Don't tell about your abuser. Keep that in private. All of these people are crazy. You got to step out in your own faith and realize what you're doing and what you're standing for. As long as it's truth, it can't go no other way. It can't go no other way. The truth don't change. The truth don't change. People could sit up there and lie on you, make up stories, but every time they're going to ask you the truth, it's going to remain the same. The story doesn't change. Lies will change. If you hear a lie, chances are you come back to that lie a month later, it's going to change. it's going to be a different story. You're going to be like, but I thought you said that she did this. But I thought you said that this happened. But you told me she ain't give you no money, but she showed me a receipt, and she keeps showing me receipts that she gave you some money. But you said that she did this. This is how it be. Liars, manipulators. All that's getting ready to come to an end. Karma is here. God tired of the bull crap. His angels is overworking, trying to get these people to see. Like, you don't want God to get to that point where he's done with humanity. He said, you know what? I'm wiping all of them out. They corrupt to the very core of their soul. A lot of these people are corrupt to their soul. You do yourself a disservice when you give up your soul to corruptness. But these people would prefer to lose their soul for a dinner date with the devil. It's pathetic. They're like hoochies for the devil. Whores. Warlocks for the devil. It's crazy. It's crazy out here. I could only do but so much work as a psychologist to help people's mind, but this is deeper than just mental illness with some of these situations out here. It's core wickedness in some of these people's heart. They wake up morning, noon, and night hoping to see somebody get unalived or get hurt. They get a thrill out of this. Antisocial disorder. They don't respect anything with integrity or order. It's sad. It's sad and it's sick. But that's what we're dealing with. But the chosen people and the people that are woke and the people that are trying, God is going to put you on the right path. And he's going to keep you there as long as you remain strong and true to the game. When you start slipping and sliding, trying to figure that out too much on a way where you joining it, he's going to leave you to that until you figure your way back. Gotta find my way back to you. That's Jaheim. I like that song. I'm gonna probably dance to that song tomorrow on my short. But that's all the time I got for this video. I just really want to talk about the Aquarian era, but I got a little sidetracked with the spirituality of it. But just understand, this Aquarian era coming, it's gonna be I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be diabolical. It's gonna be good versus evil, period. It ain't gonna be no sitting on the fence. I don't know what side, what team I'm on. Am I on left or right? It ain't gonna be none of that. People gonna be picking a side this time. They gonna be standing in their business. And I'm here for it. Because I've been trying to get people to stop being followers. You ain't gotta be a leader, but be your own person. Be true to you do yourself a disservice when you hide who you are. I don't care how quirky or weird you think you are. That's who you was born to be. Okay? And people might love it, they might hate it, but you ain't here to be people's friend and accepted. You here to be yourself. So own up to who you are. And if you're a mean person or you bitter and you feel like, okay, well, I gotta hide that side of me, that's a whole nother topic. But you might need a little help. You might need a little help to figure out why you're mean. It could be some deep inner pain that you haven't come to resolve, right? And you may just need to work on challenging that pain and evolve, right? And you may just need a little help. So you might need to go seek a little bit of help for that issue. And then once you get past that issue, the new you is actually the real you. You're going to discover new parts about yourself like, wow, I didn't know I could be this helpful. And your helpfulness won't be at the like at the suffering of yourself. You're going to be naturally helping somebody because that's who you might naturally be, but it's going to be like in a leadership position or something like that, where you still get your accolades or something like that. You know what I'm saying? But you're going to have to do the work to break out of these bondage spells, these deep, dark situations, because you're only hurting yourself, because it's not a good place to feel that you ain't nobody and the only thing you could be is a miserable, mean, person. I was going to say something else, but I'm going to be nice. It's best to be true to self. But the self can't be boggled down by a lot of shadow, because the shadow is not your true self. The shadow is a broken version of yourself, but it mirrors back to you. That's why it's a shadow, what you need to fix. So get in tune with what you need to fix so that you can come to your straight humanity level of where you're really supposed to be and join the light crew. That's what it's about. Love you guys. Bye.